We are pleased to welcome Dorothy Beckett. She is the president-elect for the Biophysical Society. Welcome, Dorothy. Thank you for joining us. So what are your goals for this upcoming term?
I would like to make significant progress in our number one, increasing our outreach in terms of teaching the public about science and about what we do, and continuing to work on the issue of funding of basic research and the research that's done by the membership of the Biophysical Society.
Now, you mentioned outreach. Outreach will be a major priority for you. Talk to us about that and the idea of this dome.
Yeah, so we have this dome. It's like a little black igloo, inflatable igloo, and it's very cute, and you can go in and watch 3D movies of scientific discoveries. You can learn about how HIV replication occurs. You can learn about how cells move and why that's important for things like wound healing, etc. And so we've been doing this at the Society for, this is our third year running, and we have a relatively new initiative to actually bring this dome out into more public settings to educate a whole range of people about science, and specifically about some of what we do as biophysicists. And we will be taking it to the Science and Engineering Days in Washington, D.C., and Maryland Day, which is an event at the University of Maryland that has about 80,000 attendees.
So Dorothy, why is outreach so important to you and the other members in the society?
I think scientific outreach is important for three reasons in my mind, and I think in the minds of several of our members, many of our members. Number one, our society is increasingly driven by technology, and without a good understanding of science, it's very difficult to make decisions about our everyday lives. For instance, our medications, that's a biggie. The second is that an informed public can actually, and this is where this integrates into the funding issue, an informed public can actually help us to urge the Congress to be more generous with scientific funding, because when the public realizes the importance of science, they can then pass that message on when they go to the booth. And the third reason is that science is cool, and it's really exciting stuff. And to provide, I think it's a great idea to provide the general public with the opportunity to just see how cool it is, because they're not going to otherwise be exposed to that. For example, in their science classes, unfortunately, they're not always exposed to that.
Well, Dorothy, you brought this up several times during this interview right now. You talk about research funding, and I know it's a big issue with a lot of the members within the society. In your opinion, how serious is this, the lack of research funding?
Oh, I think it's serious. I think we're going to actually, so it's serious in that I think that it makes it even more difficult for young people to get started in this business. The average age at which a beginning investigator receives an NIH grant is 42. 42. So that's pretty discouraging. And so what we worry about is, number one, young people starting out may not make it, because your ability to retain your position is in large part influenced by how much money you bring into an institution. The second thing is that it may discourage young people from actually pursuing science. Students and postdoctoral fellows may decide that, given the difficulty of the situation, they'll drop out and pursue an alternative path. And so that's going to hurt science and this country in general.
So how is the society able to tackle this issue? What will you and the other members be doing to help correct this?
So there are two things that we're doing. Number one is to try to work with the Congress. So we regularly visit the Hill. We talk with congressional aides about this issue. And we also urge our members to get involved in their local congressional districts to talk with aides and congresspeople about the issue. The other thing we do is we try to find alternative So one of the sessions yesterday was about finding alternative sources of funding, industry, private foundations, etc. So one approach is to try to correct it. The other is to try to get around it.
And Dorothy, very exciting term coming up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.